in the ad, it's him. You didn't, and I'll ask you, there's no like, Spielberg, DreamWorks magic that you did to put him there, right?
No, we don't have to. Trump by himself proves the point. And then there's a reel that we've done on the internet that shows 5 or 6 times, some of them just in the last couple weeks, where he says, I'm for higher taxes on this group, I'm for higher tax on this group. When he's asked about this giant tax increase that was in his book, he says, yeah, I'm not for that anymore, but I do it all day long.
Right.
I mean, that's the type of response you get from Trump. Part of our ad's also showing people he's not the solution to being angry at Washington. We're frustrated with leadership, both Democrat and the Republicans in Washington. But he's your typical politician that will just say whatever he takes to get your vote.
Right. Well, and I've always been, a straight shooter. I liked his energy coming out, and I liked the political incorrectness, and I kept waiting, all right, we're going to have policy. We're going to have some policy here at some point. We just got the Second Amendment, which left me with a lot of questions last week. He keeps saying that his tax proposals are coming. When he was on with Hannity, which is one of the things that you get into that they reference because you're the wealth tax. I mean, he had said on Hannity, I would have totally have given more if it would have erased the debt. We can't do that now. And the follow-up question was never answered. Well, what if you could? Would you still be for it? And that question was left unanswered. So the only thing that we have to go on, which I can see your reasoning in the ad, is to go off what he has said previously, which you showed in your ad.
That's right. And he's come up with new ones. I'm going to tax Ford when they bring vehicles across the border. I'm going to tax investment managers because they're making too much money. That type of approach does not grow the economy. It ends up tanking the economy. People will lose their jobs, will be worse off. So we're telling them the substance of it. We're also pointing out he's just not who you think he is. He says he's an outsider that's going to fight Washington, but he's just as liberal as Hillary.
You have been known for your ratings, your group, Club for Growth, and that is the rating that grassroots conservatives go by. Would you call Trump a free market conservative when it comes to economic policy?
Absolutely not.
What grade would you give him? What rating would you give him?
We'd give him almost an F, maybe a D minus, because he's for government-funded health care. He's been for these tax increases. He's against free trade. And one of the worst things, Dana, is he likes to use eminent domain to take people's private property, their houses, their businesses, and turn them over to developers, like himself, to turn into something new. And that was the Kelo
decision.
Case. The Supreme Court said you can do that at the local government level. 80% of Americans say that's wrong. This is our property. We should decide when we sell it. And you shouldn't let government take it from us and give it to somebody else because they want to do something with it.
Right. And that hasn't really been thoroughly exposed in the media. I have yet to see a question on eminent domain proposed to him.
That's right. It has not come up. That's going to be the next wave of challenges that we make at the club to point out how radical that is. And he's on tape many times saying, yeah, I support it. I think that's the right thing. In fact, in New Jersey and Connecticut, he paid for local politicians. You know how he says he buys politicians?
Right.
I finally figured out.
He said you all were trying to extort him or something.
Yeah, no, he's bizarre on that because he wasn't even a candidate. And I figured if you are conservative, you'd want to give to the Club for Growth. But he never did. No, and then these local politicians use eminent domain, try to take away the private property so he can build a casino or an amusement park. And we're going to tell that story to the voters in America so that they know this is what the guy does if you give him power. Right.
What do you attribute his rise in the polls? I mean, is this all just he's still riding the wave of that initial introduction, people, because it's still, I mean, it is very early, and I know that conservatives in the primary season, I know conservatives, it seems like it's already gone on for a long time because we have so many people and we're all so eager to vote and change out, the occupant in the White House.
I think it's the anger and frustration with Republican leaders in Congress, House and Senate, who promised they would change things, promised they would stand up to Obama, and promised they'd be for smaller government, more freedom, and they don't seem to do it.
Right.
And so the primary voters are saying, hey, maybe Trump will go shake things up. I mean, that's how he presented himself. What we're asking him to do is realize he's got the right problem. That they're not doing the right things in Washington, but his solution would make it worse.